I would like to tell you some basics about the project progress report. We have heard that many of you are already curious to see how the progress report looks like, how it will look like in EMS, exactly which type of information is requested from your side. I have the good news for you that, or maybe just start maybe with the bad news first. I have the bad news first that we are still currently implementing in EMS the reporting module, so this means it is not fully ready yet, but we hope that it will be ready in October. And the good news is that my colleagues, they will show you tomorrow in the workshop a demo version of the reporting module, so you will get some first insights and also a visual impression on how it looks like. And they will also explain to you all the details which you need in order to be informed which information is requested from you to be filled in the report in the various sections. And they will give you all a lot of practical hints to make it really clear also what are the expectations from our end in terms of the level of detail and data which we need from your side. The progress report, just to give you the basic, it contains an activity part and it contains a financial part, and of course both are very closely interlinked because of course the financial part, the costs, they are the direct consequence of the activities which you are implementing. So this means in the activity part you have some general information on the project which you need to report, and then the part on the work packages where you have to report on the single work packages, on the activities which you implemented per work package, and also the outputs and deliverables which you have achieved. And also if you have encountered any problems or whatever and solutions which you have found. Then the parts C and D, they concern the financial report, including all the certificates of expenditure which are linked to the activities and which form part of the report, and then you have some financial overview tables. There are of course also some annexes to be submitted, like documentation of outputs, annexes as deliverables which you have achieved in the reporting period, the payment claim of the lead partner, a verification checklist, and also the control documents. We have also created an implementation toolbox. This, I think we have already informed you in the latest communication, in the latest news we have sent out to you. This toolbox contains several templates and fact sheets which are meant to help you with the reporting. They are templates which are to be used then also, which form part of the annexes of the PR, like output fact sheets, investment report template, the communication strategy which has to be delivered as part of the first progress report, the lead partner verification checklist, the templates for the control documents, timesheets, and the periodic staff report. Then in order to give you a bit more information, we have also prepared several fact sheets, like purchase form for the procurement of goods and services which are not falling under the public procurement rules, some fact sheet on daily rates for hotels and allowances, so for meetings or when you are traveling to meetings, etc., and also in terms of eligible promotional materials. Maybe also to mention that soon we will add to this template, so I think in the next few days we will also add the templates for the progress report and for the partner report. So this means the offline templates. Of course, since the reporting needs to be done in EMS, but there will be an offline template which shows you also the structure and the required information which is part of the reporting. And of course, in addition to all these documents, to the implementation toolbox, not to forget that there are also persons behind. So you know your project manager, you know your finance manager, and they are of course more than happy to help and support you in case you have other questions then which are covered by all the different program manuals or documents. Helga mentioned already the monitoring and clarification process. So actually you have still a little bit of time until you have to prepare your first reports, since I think most of the projects started already before summer or during summer, and I think just a few now during September. This means that mostly for all of you, your first reports will have to be delivered in the first quarter of next year. So you need already to think start very soon about how to collect information from your partners by using partner reports as a tool, but also by maybe setting up some additional reporting flows or structures in terms of project management internal procedures, in order to get a good information for the progress report which you have to deliver to the Joint Secretariat. And this maybe also as a key message, I think, which was also already mentioned before, it's very important to be very clear and comprehensive in your report. Because otherwise, and this we have seen also in the last program, it could require a lot of clarification rounds, which are depicted also in this chart, which means that if you get the report and it's not sufficient and there is not enough information, we will get back to you, we will ask you for further information. You might need to collect this information then from your partners, which then also would require additional time. Then you have to submit again a revised version of the report, which needs to be checked by the GS again. And if there are again some questions, so it could require several rounds and several loops. And I think this is rather also self-explaining that this could require quite an amount of time. And this would also mean that you have to wait quite for a long time to get reimbursed. And I think this is in the interest of both of you and also of us, not to spend additional hours of work and days and weeks or even months to finalize the whole monitoring and reporting process. And finally, if we think that everything is fine, we will give our acceptance. We will notify you on the acceptance of the report, and we will finally hand it over to the managing authority and certifying authority, who will then do also their own internal checks, and then it can go into the final payment and reimbursement procedure. And this is actually the last slide now of this part of the presentation, which is the payment, which comes at the end of the long chain until you get your money back, which you have spent when you performed your activities. And this actually shows that once everything is okay, the managing authority, which acts also as certifying authority, will pay the reimbursement of the amounts which are included in the report to the lead partner. And then it's the obligation and the responsibility to transfer the different shares of the report to the respective partner without delay. And this is also one of the obligations which is laid down in the subsidy contract, which was mentioned also by Luca before. And of course, the managing authority needs also to get the money from somewhere. And this money comes from the European Commission. And this is also worth than to mention that, of course, we only can pay out money if we have funds available from the Commission. So this is the whole payment chain, how the money actually is channeled from the European Commission then to the final beneficiary, which means the project partner.